This is not just a story. This is the true account of how ordinary people are chosen for extraordinary purposes. A reminder that greatness is not about where you start, but about the courage you find along the way. History is filled with the tales of kings and conquerors, men born into power and destined for glory. But some of the most powerful stories come from the shadows, from the lives of those the world has overlooked. This is one such story. It begins not in the gilded halls of a palace, but in the quiet, unassuming life of a young orphan girl. Her name was Hadassah, but the world would come to know her as Esther. She was a Jewish exile, living under the rule of the vast and mighty Persian Empire. With no parents to guide her, her only family was her older cousin, Mordecai, a man of deep faith and unwavering integrity, who raised her as his own daughter. They were simple people, part of a community far from their ancestral homeland, living day by day under the reign of a powerful and unpredictable king. In their world they were nobodies. They possessed no royal blood, no vast wealth, no political influence. Their lives were defined by obedience and survival. Esther's days were not filled with preparations for a throne, but with the simple duties of a young woman in a foreign land. She learned the customs of her people, the prayers of her faith, and the quiet strength needed to endure. There was nothing about her early life that would suggest she was destined to stand before a king, let alone save an entire nation. She was, in every sense of the word, an ordinary girl. But destiny often has a way of finding the most unlikely of heroes, pulling them from obscurity and placing them at the very center of history's most pivotal moments. And for Esther, the moment was fast approaching when her ordinary life would be turned upside down, leading her down a path she could never have imagined. The mighty King Xerxes, ruler of an empire that stretched from India to Ethiopia, was searching for a new queen. A decree was sent out across his 127 provinces. The most beautiful young virgins in the land were to be brought to the palace. It was a search not for a partner, but for a prize. Esther, known for her exceptional beauty, was among those taken. Suddenly the orphan girl was swept away from the only home she had ever known, from the loving care of Mordecai, and thrust into the competitive, dangerous world of the royal harem. For a year, she and the other women underwent extensive beauty treatments, preparing for a single night with the King-a-night that would determine their entire future. It was a world of jealousy, ambition, and fear. Yet, even in this strange and intimidating environment, Esther found favor. Her grace, humility, and quiet dignity set her apart. When her turn finally came to go before King Xerxes, he was captivated. He saw in her not just breathtaking beauty, but a spirit that was gentle and noble. Of all the women, it was Esther he chose. He placed the royal crown on her head and made her his queen. The orphan from a forgotten corner of the empire was now the most powerful woman in the land. But this was not the end of her story. It was merely the beginning of her true test. An evil plot was brewing within the palace walls, a genocidal plan to annihilate her people, the Jews. Esther, the queen who had hidden her identity, would soon face an impossible choice: remain silent and save herself, or risk her life to speak for her people. This is the true story of Queen Esther, an orphan who became a queen, a woman who risked her life in a decision that changed history forever.